Elizabeth Montgomery's old photos left nothing to the imagination. Try not to gasp. Elizabeth Montgomery, the enchanting star who bewitched television audiences, didn't just shine through her spellbinding performances. She set Hollywood ablaze with a love life that rivaled any blockbuster script. Known for her irresistible charm, she wove a tangled web of tempestuous romances and jaw-dropping scandals that left marriages in ruins and gossip columns buzzing. Though she never chased the spotlight as a marquee name, Elizabeth shared the screen with a parade of legendary actors and directors, effortlessly stealing their hearts along the way. Her journey through love's wild highs and lows is nothing short of cinematic, so buckle up for a front row seat to her mesmerizing saga. Before starting the video, can you tell me which country you are from? Elizabeth Montgomery was born on April 15, 1933 in Los Angeles, California, into a family deeply rooted in the entertainment industry. Her mother, Elizabeth Daniel Bryan Allen, was a Broadway actress, while her father, Robert Montgomery, was a renowned film star. Montgomery had an older sister, Martha Bryan Montgomery, who tragically passed away in infancy, and a younger brother, Robert B. Montgomery Jr. She was of Irish and Scottish descent, with her great-grandfather, Archibald Montgomery, emigrating from Belfast to the United States in 1847. Montgomery's early education took place at the prestigious Westlake School for Girls in Holmby Hills, California, before she graduated from the Spence School in New York City. She then refined her craft at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Manhattan, studying there for 3 years and laying the foundation for a career that would make her one of television's most beloved stars. Comment number 1 if you think Elizabeth Montgomery was destined for stardom from birth. Elizabeth Montgomery's career began under the spotlight of her famous father's television series, Robert Montgomery Presents, where she made her debut and later became part of his summer stock company of performers. By October 1953, she had already made a name for herself on Broadway, starring in Late Love and earning a Theatre World Award for her performance. Her film debut followed in 1955 with Otto Preminger's The Court Martial of Billy Mitchell. She later returned to Broadway in The Loud Red Patrick, further cementing her reputation as a versatile actress. In the early years, Montgomery became a familiar face in live television dramas and classic series, delivering standout performances in Studio One, Kraft Television Theater, Johnny Staccato, Burke's Law, The Twilight Zone, The 11th Hour, Wagon Train, Boris Karloff's Thriller, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Her breakthrough moment came in 1960 when she portrayed Southern nightclub performer Rusty Heller in The Untouchables, earning a Primetime Emmy nomination for her gripping performance. In 1963, she appeared in Rawhide, playing Rose Cornelius in the episode Incident at El Crucero. Montgomery's film career also gained traction during this time. She played a wealthy socialite entangled with a gangster, Henry Silva, in Johnny Cool, 1963, directed by William Asher, and starred alongside Dean Martin and Carol Burnett in the romantic comedy Who's Been Sleeping in My Bed. Her talent even caught the eye of Alfred Hitchcock, who considered her for a key role in Marnie as Sean Connery's sister-in-law. However, due to scheduling conflicts, she was unable to take the part, leaving audiences to wonder what might have been. Elizabeth Montgomery captivated audiences as Samantha Stevens, the charming and mischievous witch at the heart of ABC's hit sitcom Bewitched. Playing opposite Dick York as her mortal husband, she brought warmth and wit to the role, making Samantha one of television's most beloved characters. Beginning in the show's second season, Montgomery also took on the role of Samantha's playful and troublemaking cousin, Serena, using the clever pseudonym Pandora Spox as a nod to her dual performances. Bewitched was an instant sensation, becoming ABC's highest-rated series at the time. Running for 8 seasons from 1964 to 1972, the show cemented Montgomery's place in television history, earning her 5 Emmy nominations and 4 Golden Globe nods. Though ratings dipped toward the end, the network initially renewed the show for a 9th season. However, behind the scenes, Montgomery's marriage to Bewitched director William Asher was unraveling, leading to their separation by the end of season 8. The strain between them ultimately brought the series to an abrupt end. As a compromise with ABC, Montgomery and Asher, under their production company Ashmont, pitched The Paul Lynde Show as a replacement for Bewitched in the 1972 to 1973 season. Unfortunately, the sitcom lasted only 1 year. Even at the height of Bewitched's success, Montgomery had fun embracing the show's magical theme in other projects. She made a playful cameo as a witch in the 1965 beach party film How to Stuff a Wild Bikini, directed by Asher. That same year, she lent her voice to an animated version of Samantha Stevens in an episode of The Flintstones, further proving her ability to bring magic to any screen. In the early 1980s, Elizabeth Montgomery briefly revisited her magical roots, charming Japanese audiences in a series of commercials for Lotte Corp's Mother chocolate biscuits and cookies. From 1980 to 1983, she playfully reprised her famous nose twitch and on-screen sorcery, securing a lucrative deal while staying out of the Hollywood spotlight and beyond the reach of her American fan base. Back in the US, Montgomery was determined to break away from her wholesome Bewitched image, taking on dramatic and complex roles that showcased her depth as an actress. She earned Emmy nominations for 2 powerful performances. First, as a rape survivor seeking justice in a case of rape, and then as the infamous Lizzie Borden in The Legend of Lizzie Borden. In an eerie twist, it was later discovered that Montgomery and Borden were distant relatives, adding another layer of intrigue to the role. Drop a star emoji if Bewitched was your favorite Elizabeth Montgomery role. Beneath Elizabeth Montgomery's Hollywood glamour lay a restless heart searching for love, only to meet heartbreak time and again. Her life played out like a novel, passionate romances, fleeting joy, and hidden struggles that painted a picture of a woman whose brilliance masked deep turmoil. Her first marriage in 1954 was to Frederick Gallatin Cameron, a wealthy New York aristocrat a decade older. Their whirlwind romance, fueled by charm and prestige, promised a fairy tale ending. But while Frederick envisioned Elizabeth as the perfect society wife, she craved more than status. She longed for a partner who embraced her ambition. When he pushed her to abandon acting for a life in New York high society, she refused to surrender her dream. Within a year, their marriage crumbled, and Elizabeth walked away, choosing her career over confinement. Undeterred, she fell for Gig Young, an Oscar-winning actor 25 years her senior. Despite her father's disapproval, she believed his experience and wisdom could steady her restless spirit. But beneath Gig's polished exterior lurked inner demons, crippling struggles and a growing dependence on alcohol. Their love, once full of promise, unraveled into volatility, marked by explosive fights and desperate attempts to save him. Elizabeth fought fiercely, but not even her devotion could rewrite a doomed script. Drained and broken, she had no choice but to leave, learning once more that love should never come at the cost of losing herself. After 7 grueling years of chaos and heartache, Elizabeth Montgomery reached her breaking point and filed for divorce from Gig Young in 1963. Among the wildest chapters of Elizabeth Montgomery's romantic saga was her electrifying fling with none other than Elvis Presley, the undisputed king of rock and roll. Their paths crossed when Elizabeth swung by the set of Kid Galahad, where Elvis was starring alongside her then-husband, Gig Young. With his signature swagger and a smile that could melt hearts, Elvis zeroed in on Elizabeth the moment she stepped into view. Unfazed by her marital status, or perhaps spurred on by the challenge, he turned up the charm to full blast, his stage charisma spilling over into real life. Sparks flew fast and fierce, and before long, the two were tangled in a steamy affair that crackled with undeniable chemistry. It was a brief, blazing detour in Elizabeth's love life, but one that left an indelible mark on her roster of thrilling escapades. While her steamy fling with Gary Cooper lit up the gossip pages, it was Elizabeth Montgomery's marriage to William Asher, a powerhouse Hollywood producer and director, that catapulted her into a whole new stratosphere. Their love ignited in 1963, the same year they tied the knot. And Asher didn't just sweep her off her feet. He handed her the role of a lifetime as Samantha Stevens in Bewitched. That magical TV series turned Elizabeth into a household name, blending her real-life romance with on-screen enchantment. Together, they weathered a roller coaster of blissful highs and stormy lows, raising 3 adorable kids, William, Robert, and Rebecca, whose arrivals were cleverly woven into the show's plotlines. Samantha's pregnancies mirrored Elizabeth's own, adding a sprinkle of real-life charm to the sitcom's spellbinding world. But behind the scenes, the fairy tale facade of her marriage to Asher began to fray. Elizabeth, with her fiery spirit and untamed heart, couldn't fully tether herself to the life they'd built. Asher adored her fiercely, and, for a while, she played the part of the devoted wife, basking in their creative synergy and family joys. Yet, as the years rolled on, an emotional chasm grew between them, widened by challenges they couldn't conquer as a team. Her rebellious streak clashed with the domestic script, and though she fought to hold on to their love, Elizabeth found herself drifting, her passion pulling her toward a horizon Asher couldn't reach. It was a bittersweet unraveling of a partnership that had once seemed destined for forever. In 1973, Elizabeth Montgomery's marriage to William Asher unraveled, sending shockwaves through Hollywood and leaving a trail of heartache in its wake. The split hit Asher hard, his love for Elizabeth ran deep, and even years later, he carried the weight of regret, haunted by the belief that he could have salvaged their happiness if only he'd fought harder. Friends and insiders watched as the man who'd once directed her to stardom wrestled with self-blame, a poignant footnote to a romance that had once lit up both their lives. Amid the twilight of her marriage, Elizabeth found herself swept into a clandestine affair with Richard Michaels, a gifted director on the Bewitched set whose charisma matched his talent. What started as a spark of passion, steamy, secretive, and thrilling, soon blazed into something more, fueled by late-night shoots and stolen moments. But the spotlight has a way of finding shadows, and the media pounced when whispers of their romance broke loose. The twist? Michaels was already married, and Elizabeth's entanglement with him unleashed chaos on both fronts. His wife, blindsided and betrayed, swiftly filed for divorce, igniting a firestorm of headlines that rocked the entertainment world. For Elizabeth, the affair became the final push to end her decade-long union with Asher, her steadfast partner and the creative force behind her iconic role. It was a seismic shift. 2 marriages crumbled, reputations rattled, and a once-hidden fling thrust into Hollywood's unforgiving glare. After her split from William Asher, Elizabeth Montgomery embraced solitude, staying out of the romantic spotlight for nearly 2 decades. Then, in 1993, she surprised the world by marrying actor Robert Foxworth, 8 years her junior. Many assumed she had sworn off love after past heartaches, but with Foxworth, she found peace, a quiet refuge from old wounds, though a restless spark remained. Just as she was settling into life with Foxworth, tragedy struck. While filming Deadline for Murder in 1995, she dismissed lingering flu-like symptoms as exhaustion. But the truth was far worse. Colon cancer had silently spread to her liver. The diagnosis was a crushing blow, yet she met it with the same resilience that defined her. Refusing to spend her final days in a hospital, Elizabeth chose the comfort of her Beverly Hills home, surrounded by Foxworth and her 3 children, William, Robert, and Rebecca. On May 18, 1995, at 62, she passed away peacefully, her departure as graceful as the life she lived, leaving behind a legacy as timeless as her bewitched twinkle. A month later, loved ones gathered at the Cannon Theater in Beverly Hills to celebrate her life. The tribute was filled with music and memories, Herbie Hancock's soulful melodies, Amanda McBroom's heartfelt song, and writer Dominic Dunn's nostalgic reflections. Foxworth shared fan letters, a testament to Elizabeth's enduring magic, not just as a star, but as a beloved icon who left the world a little more enchanted. You can comment love and scandal if Elizabeth Montgomery's romantic life was more dramatic than a Hollywood movie. Thanks for sticking with us through this journey into Elizabeth's extraordinary life. If her story grabbed you, don't hold back. Hit that like button to let me know you're hooked. And if you're eager for more tales like this, give that subscribe button a tap and flick on the notification bell. Your support fuels me to keep crafting these stories just for you, so let's keep the adventure rolling.